So the check engine light is on, 2013 Passat. The error code reads that it's 0106, which is a map sensor out of range. So I have to replace a map sensor. Alright guys, I'm going to show you how to replace the map sensor, the 0106 code, on a 2013 Passat. And I've already taken everything off and I'll show you how to put it all back together, but jumping right into it, the sensor goes right, you see that little spot right in there? That's where that sensor hooks into. This is the sensor. Now a lot of people on the videos they show, they've taken off this full throttle body to actually access the sensor, but there's only one screw that holds it in here, and the other hole is actually just a stud that's coming out of the engine block. You can see it right, I'll try to zoom in here, see it right there, that little black piece sticking out. That's what lines up with the other hole. So there is enough room if you wiggle this carefully to get it on and off without having to actually remove this whole assembly like the other videos have shown, in my experience anyways. Alright guys, so that's the end of it, or if you're reverse engineering this from the video, that is the beginning. So you've got the cover, and so the cover comes off, there you pull it up, there's 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, and 4 underneath. So you grab it, support it, lift up, and those sections just keep working up till it pops loose of the grommets that hold it in place. Then you can clamp this, slide it up out of the way, separate this hose, and you can take off this assembly here, and once you do that, this whole shroud will come up. That's step 1. Step 2 is I removed this shroud assembly, which only has the 2 screws, Torx 20, one there, and one on the other side, and that piece comes off. Once this piece and this piece is off, then you can have access to the map sensor. Okay, so the last thing to put back on, or the first thing that you take off, is going to be the cover, and that's pretty simple. Surprisingly, it's just down with grommets that poke down into holders into the block. You can see there's one here, and then there's one right there, and so the bottom of this has holes that line up with those, and they just all fit in place. There's the 2 front ones right there, which go right there. So just snug those in, and then this hose right here connects to there, and you can move it by clamping this in, and then this piece here attaches back into there. Okay, so that's the housing that gets removed to give you access to the part. There's just 2 screws. One is right there, and the other is right there. And that's above this whole assembly that's in the way to get down to the sensor, which is right there. Okay, so the only other 2 main pieces that I removed is this is one of them, which is this front shroud that just screws in right there at the front, and then the actual top cover for the engine I'll show you next. So first I need 2 hands, so you can see there's 1 screw there, there's a 2nd screw there. This shroud just goes right there and you screw it in. Alright guys, so the screw takes a Torx 20, and as you can see how I manipulated it in through there, just get an extension, and you can access that screw again without having to remove this whole assembly there. You just kind of finesse the wire harness around a little bit and get yourself access to tighten it up. Show you, there's the hole that it lines in right there. So this sensor, I'm trying to do this one-handed, needs to go right in that hole. As you can see, you can pop it right in, and there's an image of it in. So what I did is there's no room to really show you, but I just rotated this and inserted it in from the side, like so. See that? And then you can just turn it down once you put it in there, and it fits right in without having to take everything apart. Okay, so you can see with the little manipulation, it's in there, and I've connected this wire harness back into it, clipped it back in. Next, I just need to put the screw in. This part is going to be important. I'm going to be extra careful because I don't want to drop that screw. If you drop that screw, it could fall down to the bottom to where there's a big plastic pan underneath that could hold and make it difficult to fish that screw back out. Alright, so that's now tight and put back in place. Now pop this screw back in, or sorry, this plastic insert back in. That's the holder for this harness. Like that. And then I will show you the next pieces that I took off to access this. I slid this harness coupler down just a little bit to give me more room when I was moving the wires around, so you can just push that back over, make sure that's in there. So now you got the wires all hooked up, the harness has been replaced here, and then I slid this plastic piece back down so everything's back where it was.